Good evening, folks, i.e. my parents. Today I will be reading from Fahrenheit 451, a novel by Ray Bradbury, set in a dystopian society where books, or the possession of books, is a crime, punishable by fire. They will come and burn your home and the books. Firemen are now tasked with burning of the books. We follow the life of a fireman on the run after he is caught with books as he tries to bring literature back to the people. I will begin now. "I don't belong with you," said Montag, at last slowly. "I've been an idiot all the way. We're used to that. We made the right kind of mistakes, or we wouldn't be here. When we were separate individuals, all we had was rage. I struck a fireman when he came to burn my library many years ago. I've been running ever since. You want to join us, Montag?" "Yes. What have you to offer?" "Nothing. I thought I had part of the book of Ecclesiastes and maybe a little of Revelation. But I haven't even that now." "The book of Ecclesiastes would be fine. Where was it?" "Here." Montag touched his head. "Ah." Granger smiled and nodded. "What's wrong? Isn't that all right?" said Montag. "Better than all right. Perfect." Granger turned to the Reverend. "Do we have a book of Ecclesiastes?" "One. A man named Harris of Youngstown." "Montag." Granger took Montag's shoulder firmly. "Walk carefully. Guard your health. If anything should happen to Harris, you are the book of Ecclesiastes. See how important you've become in the last minute?" "But I've forgotten." "No. Nothing's ever lost. We have ways to shake down your clinkers for you." "But I've tried to remember." "Don't try. It'll come when we need it. All of us have photographic memories, but spend a lifetime learning how to block off all the things that are really in there. Simmons here has worked on it for 20 years, and now we've got the method down to where we can recall anything that's been read once. Would you like someday, Montag, to read Plato's Republic?" "Of course. I am Plato's Republic. Like to read Marcus Aurelius?" "Mr. Simmons is Marcus." "How do you do?" said Mr. Simmons. "Hello," said Montag. "I want you to meet Jonathan Swift, the author of the evil political book, Gulliver's Travels. And this other fellow is Charles Darwin, and this one is Schopenhauer, and this one is Einstein, and this one here at my elbow is Mr. Albert Schweitzer, a very kind philosopher indeed. Here we all are, Montag. Aristophanes and Mahatma Gandhi, Gautama Buddha and Confucius, Thomas Love Peacock and Thomas Jefferson, Mr. Lincoln, if you please. We are also Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John." Everyone laughed quietly. "It can't be," said Montag. "It is," replied Granger, smiling. "We're book burners, too. We read the books and burnt them, afraid they'd be found. Microfilming didn't pay off. We were always traveling, and we didn't want to bury the film to come back later. Always the chance of discovery. Better to keep it in the old heads, where no one can see it or suspect it. We are all bits and pieces of history and literature. International law, Byron, Tom Paine, Machiavelli, or Christ. It's here, and the hour's late, and the war's begun. And we are out here, and the city is there, all wrapped up in its own coat of 1,000 colors. What do you think, Montag? I think I was blind trying to do things my way, planting books in firemen's houses and sending in alarms. You did what you had to. Carried out on a national scale, it might have worked beautifully. But our way is simpler, and we think better. All we want to do is keep the knowledge we think we will need, intact and safe. We're not out to incite anger or anyone yet. For if we are destroyed, the knowledge is dead, perhaps for good. We are model citizens in our own special way. We walk the old tracks, we lie in the hills at night, and the city people let us be. We're stopped and searched occasionally, but there's nothing on our persons to incriminate us. The organization is flexible, very loose and fragmentary. Some of us have had plastic surgery on our faces and fingerprints. Right now we have a horrible job. We're waiting on the war to begin and, as quickly, end. It's not pleasant, but then we're not in control. We're the odd minority crying in the wilderness. When the war's over, perhaps we can be of some use in the world. Do you really think they'll listen? If not, we'll just have to wait. We'll pass the books on to our children by word of mouth, and let our children wait, in turn, on the other people. A lot will be lost that way, of course. But you can't make people listen. They have to come around in their own time, wondering what happened and why the world blew up under them. It can't last. How many of you are there? Thousands on the roads, the abandoned rail tracks. Tonight, bums on the outside, libraries on the inside. It wasn't planned at first. Each man had a book he wanted to remember, and did. Then over a period of 20 years or so, we met each other, traveling, and got the loose network together, and set out a plan. The most important single thing we had to do, we had to pound into ourselves, was that we were not important. We mustn't be pedants. We were not to feel superior to anyone else in the world. We're nothing more than dust jackets for books, of no significance otherwise. Some of us live in small towns. Chapter 1 of Thoreau's Walden in Green River, Chapter 2 in Willow Farm, Maine. Why, there's one town in Maryland, only 27 people. No bomb will ever touch that town. Is the complete essays of a man named Bertrand Russell. Pick up that town almost and flip the pages. So many pages to a person, and when the war's over, someday, some year, the books can be written again. The people will be called in one by one to recite what they know, and we'll set it up in type until another dark age, when we might have to do the whole thing over again. But that's the wonderful thing about man. He never gets so discouraged or disgusted that he gives up doing it all over again, because he knows very well it is important and worth the doing. "What'll we do tonight?" asked Montag. "Wait," said Granger, "and move a little downstream away, just in case." Thank you.
Thank you.